Hello everyone, it's me again. I'm going to make a brief explanation of the answers for General Revision Handout 2. So let's start. Part A, number 1. We learned that the flood took place a few weeks ago, so the answer must be in past tense. As you know, ago is a time expression for past tense. 2. We know that the flood caused the damage, but because a lot of damage is given as the subject, we should use a passive structure in past tense. 3. The sentence finishes with 4 years, and 4 is a time expression for present perfect tense and present perfect continuous tense. 4. For changing situations, we can use present continuous tense. Also, today, at the end of the sentence, is a time expression of this tense. You can also use present perfect tense because the action started in the past and its effect is still present. 5. Products cannot use themselves. Somebody uses them. Therefore, you need to use a present tense passive structure here. Part B, number 1. Here, the grammar structure is to plus adjective plus for plus somebody or something plus to plus verb 1. Number 2, the grammar structure is adjective plus enough plus to plus verb 1. Number 3, would rather is used to talk about our preferences. Here we have a negative form, which is would rather not plus verb 1. Part C, number 1. The given situation talks about the present, so we should imagine the opposite of the situation. In other words, it is an unreal situation, so we should use if type 2. Number 2. The given situation talks about a future result of a present situation. When you write this using if type 1, it means in order for the result to be valid, the present condition should be fulfilled. Number 3. Both parts of the given situation are in past tense, which means that we will have an impossible situation when we rewrite them in if type 3. Part D. Questions 1, 2, 5, and 6. Since these sentences will start with a subject, we need to use this structure. Subject plus reporting passive verb plus to plus verb 1. Question number 3. The tense of the reporting verb know is present tense, and the other verb in the sentence is in present perfect tense. So we have two different tenses here, which means that you need to add have plus verb 3 after to. The same rule is valid for question 4, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Part E. Despite and although are the same linkers. However, after despite, we use a noun or a noun phrase, and after although, we use a sentence, subject, verb. Number 2, since here means because, so we have a reason-result relationship in this sentence. Due to is a linker from this group and is followed by a noun or a noun phrase, and it is synonym with because of. Number 3, so as to means in order to, and they tell us about a purpose. So that can replace them, but after so that, you need to write a sentence, subject, verb. Part F. Number 1. Before the blank, we are told that people do not believe it is difficult. After the blank, we learn that they believe they can easily blah blah blah. So we have two opposite ideas here, and the transition phrase on the contrary signals this opposition. Number 2, thus means therefore, which is used while talking about a reason-result relationship. Part G. In this part, I will tell you the grammar topic of each answer. You can study each item by yourself. Number 1, present perfect passive. 2, comparatives with as plus adjective plus as. 3, prepositions and particles. 4, like as a preposition meaning similar to. 5, collocational vocabulary. 6, alternatives to if. 7, collocational vocabulary. 8, alternatives to if. 9, conjunctions and linking words. Next part, Part H, Section 1, Number 1. Omitted relative pronoun. When there is a subject and a verb after the relative pronoun, you can omit it. That's why the answer which or that is given in brackets. 2. If there is a form of verb be after the relative pronoun, you can reduce the relative clause. Here, the original relative clause is, there were explorers of various countries which were competing to be the first. Were is the past tense form of be, therefore, we can reduce the relative clause by not writing which and were. The same rule applies until question number 6 and to questions 8 and 9. Number 7, relative clause with where, because Ross Island is a place and the answer has there in it, which we remove when turning the sentence into a relative clause. Number 10, This question is a regular relative clause because after who there is neither a subject verb nor a verb be form. Section 2. The explanations I have made for the first section are applicable to this section as well. And the last part, number 1. Anya is a person, so we need to use who as a relative pronoun. In defining relative clauses, who and that give the same meaning, but here in this question, we have a non-defining relative clause, and you cannot use that in non-defining clauses. Number 2. Her grandfather's house is a place, and we learned that she studied voice and piano there. 3. The adjective frightened is normally followed by the preposition of, and in relative clauses you can use such prepositions before the relative pronoun. 4. You need a main verb for this sentence, so gave is the answer. 5. Similar to the explanation for question number 2, here by as a preposition is used before the pronoun. 6. Defining relative clauses with that. 7. Relative clause with whose indicates possession, and it is always followed by a noun. 8. Relative pronoun followed by present tense passive. 10. Here we have a reduced relative clause. The original sentence is blah blah blah, the gene for thalassemia, which is an inherited blood disease. Because there is a form of verb be after the relative pronoun, we can reduce the clause. The same rule applies for question 11. Until question 18, you see the variations of relative clauses, and the rules explained so far are applicable. I will skip other relative clause questions from now on. (21) Simple present tense. 25. Present perfect tense, because of the time expression recently, which is used at the beginning. 32. Past tense passive. At the beginning, we are given a date in the past. Someone else granted the new constitution, so we need to use a passive structure. 44. The same structure as in question 19, which I forgot to tell, and the structure is this. The first plus noun plus 2 plus verb 1. Thank you very much for listening to me again. I hope it is helpful, and I hope you are dealing with everything well. As I told you before, you can study these grammar topics on the internet, on your language handouts. You can ask to your instructors your questions. Please don't give up. Stay safe. Stay at home. See you.